Hello, true art believers. This is Pearson here. It's just another day in paradise. Today's installment of the artist interview series already start off bad. I throw out all the bad, all the bad words and all like the slurs all up front. I front load it so that like later on it just gets better. So like I start real low so that my standards are low, and then I can just only go better from there, right? So that's what I do. So today we have Christina Etchison. I mean, Sodano Etchison. Sorry. I got all these last names. I got very confused. Sodano, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. Doing great. How are you?
Yeah, how I'm doing good. I'm doing good. I wasn't as productive as I'd like to be, but you take everything. You try to accept that sometimes things are not going to be the best of days, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. So, what'd you do today, Christina?
Oh, wow. I had a busy day. I had a really busy day.
What's a busy day for you? Let's go with that. Answer your question, then go answer the next one.
Well, okay. So you know what? I'm an early riser. I get up like 5:30.
Okay. 5:30?
So, yeah. I got up. I love to work out. Instead of going to the gym today, though, I took my dog for a really big walk. So she was well needed because there were a couple days there that I didn't take her this week so far. So I could tell when she wants to go. But we went for a huge walk today. I came back. And so besides my own artwork that I've been doing for years, which we should talk about because I got involved. My parents got me involved at 8 years old in private art lessons. And I've been doing it ever since. But we could talk about that. But today, so besides my artwork, I also teach private art lessons. Out of my home here, I have a studio set up. And most of my students right now are young adults that are on the spectrum. And it's amazing, the art therapy and the progress that. And I've grown to love every one of them. It's amazing. And I'm really very, very proud of all the work they do. I also post on my Instagram and Facebook. I post a lot of their work too, so it's pretty fun.
You do?
Yeah, I do. Yep. When there are some really fun things that come up, I post that. I'm just proud to show what these guys are doing. It's amazing. And as you know, people that are on the spectrum, they have, depending on the person, they have their own set of issues. The art really relaxes them, gives them confidence. I have one student that is about 24 years old when he first started with me, and he would not ever drive his car anymore. He was nervous. Within a month and a half of starting with me, he did such a turn. His mother was so thankful because he was more than happy to jump in the car and drive over here by himself. So just the positivity, the how confident he felt in himself, and just loving to be here with me and draw, it was fantastic, So anyway, but besides that, I had 2 students today, and then ironically, another young lady that has asked me to help her in the next couple weeks prepare. She's not on the spectrum, but this is a student years ago when she was younger in elementary school. I taught her for about 2.5 years or so, and called me up and said, "Hey, can you help me prepare my portfolio for college?" So we're going full blast. Painting and drawing and getting everything done in time for her emissions, which is really exciting. So I had a full day of teaching, doing some of my own personal stuff like working out, did a little bit of painting on my own, and before you knew it, we were getting prepared for here. So besides all the other stuff, right, that you do in your house and all that, at least I do, that just goes along with it, goes along with my day. Rather not talk about all that crap, right? Rather talk about the fun stuff I do with my art. So that's that was a lot of my busy day. I hung out in this studio most of the day, which was all right though, you know.
I think that's really cool.
Yeah.
Question about like, so you're consulting with a former student to make a portfolio. How are you said you're drawing and painting. Are you basically having new work created on the spot, or are you gathering old work?
Oh no. So she wants to apply for graphic design. Go to college for graphic design. But along with that portfolio that you have to present, right? Which is very different. So the fun thing is, when I was applying to college many years ago, right? When I was applying to college, we had to go to the university with our portfolio, and present the paintings or the drawings, whatever it might be, and present you show them the actual work. Well, now she puts them into a file, right? And she's just electronically sending them to them, right? So, and I had this discussion with my family last night. I said, it's really interesting because, you could do something, or a student going to art school right now or college, whatever, what if they did a drawing that was 10 by 10? Okay, that doesn't take a third of the time. That it's what does it take? What if I did a 18 by 24 drawing, pencil drawing? It's going to take me a lot longer, right? Obviously. Yeah. But they don't have restrictions like on the sizes, from what I understand. I mean, we're still doing some decent size paintings and drawings for her to present. So she has her area of the portfolio, not sure, 8 or 10 pieces that are all along her graphic design, right? That part. She's got that pretty much covered, but she also has to present drawings and paintings. So we were brainstorming at the beginning on what she's interested in, because I don't know, as an artist, don't you feel like when you're painting, you want to paint what you're interested in, right? And what you love. And I mean, most of the time I think artists do. I do, right? I mean, I love lots of things. I love gardening, so I love flowers and bright colors, I don't know, things that interest me. So we talked about that for a while, and we did a watercolor of flowers because she really loves flowers. And anyway, we started another drawing today. So we're going to have a few different techniques by the time we're completed. So it's pretty interesting.
When's it going to be due?
Well, her first portfolio submission is November 1st. It's like, I forget, early decision or early action, with college, however that all works. Yeah. So she has to do that for November 1st. So anyway, it's fun. It's exciting. And she's really, I think, enjoying, again, the lessons, us being together and painting and, and doing the lessons. So it's, and she's such a sweetheart. She's such a nice girl too. So that's always fun, right?
What if, have you ever had, is this the first time you've done a portfolio review or portfolio assistance?
For someone now, like at my age, yeah, it is. I mean, I did my own, obviously.
Yeah.
Right. I haven't sat there with students and have taught them. So, but this one I've taught her in the past, and she knew I had the history of it. So.
Yeah.
Oh, and ironically, you know what? I forgot. Oh gosh. With my business, I do free giveaways every month of a print. That's what I've been doing, at least. And the last month, her mother won my free print. So it was kind of ironic, kind of fun, for that.
You didn't sneak in a few free entries in there, did you? You're sticking your hand into the jar with the names, and you're like, that's not who I want.
Really
They're like, we're gonna keep going until I find the person I want. They're like, oh, there we
No,
go.
I'm not kidding.
There we
No,
go.
I did not. No, but you know what is? No, I really didn't. My son taught me how to do the Google random number thing, right? Thank goodness for my son. He's been my techie for me. Gosh, I would have been lost without him. But I did. Yeah, no. I have not done that. I'm not kidding. But the 2 months before that, it was somebody in California that won. So I'm not in my area, but California, as you know, is pretty big. It was someone else. But yeah, it's kind of cool keeping in the area. Yeah. Anyway,
I was curious to I think I was going to ask something along the lines of, have you given private lessons to someone who just doesn't want to listen at all?
oh yes, absolutely.
And you were like, did you ever get, was there ever like a snap, did you ever like get a little snappy and say, well, you're paying for this?
No, if they want to just go ahead and paint and draw and not listen to me, then knock yourself out. I'm getting
like,
paid. We can sit here and chat about whatever you want. Like, I'm just like,
yeah.
all right,
I'm
trying to help you. If you, I got it. I'm like, okay, well, if you got it, that's great. Good. I'm glad you know. I've only been doing this for 50 years, but hey, I'm sure you've got it all figured out.
Well, like, what was that like?
Huh?
What was that like?
After weeks of that, I get used to it. I'm used to it.
Oh
now.
yeah.
Yeah. So
you were just so chipper all of a sudden, and then all of a sudden after like remembering some of those thoughts. Oh, yeah.
I'm used to the attitude that I get with him, right? So I know and I expect it, and I accept that's what it is. So I will try, and I will try to help. But the bottom line is he's really happy doing the drawings, paintings, whatever it might be. He's really happy, and he has this great confidence in himself about his work. So who am I to say that he's doing it all wrong? I mean, he's coming here to have another activity, right? And to have some help and to learn, and where there are many others that are the complete opposite. So it's okay, right? I accept them for who they are.
Maybe it's just like you just want like drawing company, that gives maybe some friendly advice every once in a while.
Yeah, I guess.
You guess.
We carry on the conversation about everything else, right? And
what's a weird conversation that you had during some private art lessons?
Weird?
Yeah, you have any weird ones or interesting ones?
It's a lot of my things have stopped. A lot of my lessons had stopped because of COVID, right?
Oh yeah.
So I'm not thinking of anything of the recent comebacks now that we're doing it again that has been too exciting. I do have a student that he's awesome, loves animals. He does a lot of dog walking, and as a job, I'm saying, right? So he has clients. We talk a lot about that together, and about different activities besides art that we could do. Well, no, I guess they kind of relate to art, but we've gone to you ever go to one of those ceramic places where you could go and you just paint the ceramics and they fire them for you?
You make them?
Yeah, you go to a shop. They're like all
I have
over
not.
town. There's different ones, and anyway, you could go in there. They have these ceramic pieces all ready to go. You just paint them, and then you do them. They fire them, and you got a piece. So I guess that's along the line of art too. We go out with he and I will also meet with other friends to go there. So it's kind of fun, that we do other things. So we talk a lot about that, about other activities, but mostly his dog walking. It's not. This isn't a weird answer, but we talk a lot about just their activities and things that are happening with them, or in their lives. I'm interested in what's happening with them. So that is, there's only so many conversations you can have, like with the clients I have, or the students that are really interested in learning. We are talking a lot about the art, right?
Yeah.
And so some of that takes up time. Otherwise, we're talking, about life and about family and whatever comes to mind. Nothing, I've never had any crazy conversations. I guess I need to pick that up a little bit more, don't I?
maybe
tomorrow.
find
Maybe tomorrow I'm gonna start
some weird things to talk about. Like
yeah.
draw a Halloween monster. I don't know, made of ooze. So you said, I wanted that the very, 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 very beginning of this conversation. You said you started getting lessons at 8 years old.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you, what was your childhood like?
I had a fantastic upbringing. I'm very happy and pleased to say I have two amazing parents. I really do. And they're awesome people. They have provided me with a fantastic upbringing. Did everything, got me involved in so many different activities. And I think they saw that I really enjoyed drawing at a young age, right? I mean, so 8 years old, my mother knew a friend who knew this artist that taught private lessons. And I was like, yeah, let's do it. So I started going to her place. She had, kind of like I do, on the back of her house, she had this huge studio. And my mom would drive me all the way over there once a week to take private art lessons with her. And I did it all the way through high school. And then I went away to college. I went to Moore College of Art for illustration and advertising. And I don't know, they must have just seen something in me that I enjoyed it. So it got me involved. And so can I show you something? My very first painting. My very first painting I did.
You have your very first painting.
I swear. So talk about amazing parents, yes. My mother saved every one of my paintings and my drawings through the years. I mean, that's a lot of paintings, right? Because I'm a little older now. And so I have it and I framed it and it's up in, can you see it? It's up in one of my rooms. But this is my very first painting at my art lessons. And look how, can you see how I wrote my name going down like that?
That's awesome.
That funny? Christina going down. Look, it's a pen and ink and watercolor. Isn't that fun though to have still?
Yeah.
So my parents got me involved, and like I said, I continued it. Went to college for illustration, fine art illustration, and when I graduated though, I needed to make a living, so it wasn't going to be illustration. And so I worked for a couple different advertising agencies when I graduated. So anyway.
Why wasn't it going to be illustration?
I was in New Jersey, and I could probably, back then, like Time magazine had an illustration, say on the front cover or in their articles, right? That was a pretty famous thing to do.
Okay.
Starting out of college, that would have been hard to get a position to get that.
Oh, in Time magazine, of course, yeah.
Yeah, to get a job like that. So their articles, different advertising would hire illustrators, pardon me, to do, but it's really hard on the East and the New York.
Oh no. Oh no.
Are you there?
Yes, we're experiencing technical difficulties.
There you
You're
are.
like you like you just froze, and then I just heard like a fragmented audio of you, and I was like, oh no, no.
I had black windows.
And I was getting worried. I was like, no way, no, please don't happen again. Not on my watch.
But
So
anyway,
you,
so I worked at advertising agencies, made a living doing that. But I really enjoyed that too, so it was okay. I've been involved in the arts, like since 8 years old. But I have done a lot of different venues of art. So advertising, package design, did some illustrations. When I was in my 20s, I moved out to Arizona.
mm-hmm.
My husband and I met, and I moved to Arizona where he was at. And I was doing some contract jobs of illustration. So I was starting to break back into the field of advertising, but doing some illustrations. So I would just do some freelance jobs. And then I started working with an organization called Phoenix Art Group. And there I was one of their artists working with that company for a while. And then about 6 years later, my husband and I moved up to the Seattle area, and I started my own business. So what I did was along with my own work, I represented about 25 different artists throughout the country. And I dealt with interior designers, furniture companies, fine art galleries, and some private collectors, and sold their work. Most of my business was working with interior designers and selling the artwork with them, going to their homes, showing the work, in the space, whatever they were designing.
Mm-hmm.
So I brought that personal touch of being able to walk out there with the portfolios and hang things on the walls say if they were designing the dining room, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was really fun. That was really, I really enjoyed that.
How'd you start that business? How'd you just start it? What'd you do? What was
it was hard because you know what? I had just moved to Seattle and didn't know a soul.
Yeah.
My husband's work brought us there. So it was about his. And you didn't jump on the internet then like you do now, right? So I opened up the yellow pages and just started calling interior designers and asking for appointments to go to their studios to show them who I'm representing and all the artwork.
How'd you get those artists?
I knew some from the Arizona area, and I knew some through their friends and connections with them, and then just started becoming members of different groups, art groups in the Seattle area. And then you just meet people, right? And you just start telling them what you're doing, and they're like, "Yeah, hey, you want to represent me?" So that was it. It was like it's nothing like it is today, I do, you have to connect with the interior designers, but I would just lug these portfolios, over to their place. Look in the yellow pages for the art galleries, the art galleries, and then go ahead and call up the galleries and say, "Hey, can I come in and show your work?" Nowadays, the galleries want you to just send me an email with some JPEGs, of your art. Different then, I don't know if it's harder now. I think so.
I think the emails are probably relegated to spam now.
Yeah.
Because they probably get so many emails a day, and there's more artists than they're able to represent in a year. A show is a month long, right? And then you can only show 12 artists at most,
right.
And then I think they plan up maybe 3 to 5 years ahead of time. I don't know. I don't know their schedule. I know they plan years ahead, but I don't know how far ahead. That's how what was the business model? How does that work? What was the day that you decided I'm going to go and solicit interior designers to buy other artists' work?
Because I knew that because of the company I was with down in Arizona.
Okay.
So that's what they did a lot of on a much larger scale.
Okay. So you got experience from them?
Yes. So and I knew I knew a number of other art reps that ventured off on their own and did it themselves and represented the artists that we all had connections with, right? So they ventured out into different parts of the country that I knew when they left Arizona also. So we kind of like shared people, all, kind of like shared different artists and their groups. So the business model was basically me doing every position, getting up in the morning, painting, because of course I was still selling my work, right?
Yeah.
I'm still representing my work and everybody else's, and going ahead and going to the designer, finding out what the projects are that they're working on, the design space that they're working on, and go, okay, hey, look at these are the ones, these are the paintings that I have, or we could do a commission piece to work in that space, whatever it might be, So I just, it was in the mornings painting, going out selling, or going out on a job with one of the designers to their place. So it's I don't know how I did it. I was much younger then too. I don't have the energy anymore.
So
I can't do that anymore. I'm too tired.
Is that why you stopped? Is that is that why you stopped that business?
No, I stopped because I became mom. I got pregnant.
Yeah.
I became mom. My husband and I moved back to Arizona. And then for a little short stop, 3 months, had my first child, our first son there. And 3 months later, we were in California. So we've done a lot of moving around. Came to California and I was like, well, shit, I'm going to be mom. If I don't have to, I'm not going to work now. I'm going to be mom for a while, But the thing is I really missed my work. I really did. Really missed my artwork, I should say. Not working, but my artwork. Okay?
Yeah.
Really missed painting. So when the kids got off to school, I would come home and go off to people's homes and paint murals in their homes. And so that was something I could do during the day and then pick them up after school, right? So that was kind of fun. And this way, by word of mouth, I just got jobs that way. Did a lot of faux finishing work, you know what I mean? Like painting on the walls and stuff, faux finishing, and murals. I've got a lot of murals all over going on. So did that while they were at school, and time flies, right? Now my kids are in their 20s, and a few years ago I decided, what am I doing? I really miss my artwork. I would do a little bit here and there, but now I'm full blast back into it and really loving it. I really love it.
Where'd you learn how to do faux finishing?
I don't know. I just did it. I just started. I know it sounds so crazy, but I literally would take a piece of marble, right? That I would see a marble and copy it and just paint it and copy it. I did these 2 columns in this man's basement that he had. It was like a marble or granite on the countertops. He had the whole basement like totally decked out, right? It was a really cool place. Yeah. And he didn't want the white just painted columns. And the designer's like, let's make them look like the marble on the countertop. So I just did. I got rags and I got all funky brushes, and I would get thin and make the lines, the grains. I don't know, I just did it, man. Half the time I didn't know what the hell I was doing, but I did it.
Yeah, sure, I could do that. You're just like, I believe I could do that for you.
Of course
that's great.
I've done it 100 times.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. So you're
faux wood.
Wow,
things look like faux wood.
Yeah. Faux wood.
Oh, Like,
What would you do to what would you do to make faux wood?
that's a lot of layers of paint. That's a number of layers of paint so that the wood really looks alive. That's
Okay.
that's kind of involved when you do the wood, the faux wood, because you have different kinds, right? You have oak wood, you got
Hmm.
mahogany, you got all these different tones of wood besides different textures.
Yeah.
That's a lot of layers. A lot of layers. I have done faux wood on a number of things, including my own house, but interiors, right? But in the interior of the house, yeah, that's it works really well, right? When people want that, like say a natural color door or something, and they don't want to pay for, doors could be expensive. A new one that's stained, you just faux paint it looking like that.
Hmm.
It's kind of cool. It is kind of cool.
So you would be cheaper than the door, like your rates for
Yeah. Well,
how expensive are those doors?
Huh?
How expensive are those doors?
I had this one woman who was going to spend something like 500 and something on a door.
Okay.
Or exactly, and painted it for like $200 or something. It wasn't much.
Okay.
Yeah, I could get it done pretty quickly. I mean, it's fine. Yeah.
So you're a fast painter?
Haven't painted a door in a long time, though, I must say. And I'm not upset about that either.
Are you really upset about that?
No, I'm really good with painting my other things. I will do it. It's a job. It's great, right? Could be a connection with more things to come. So, yeah, I would do it. Ceilings. I painted a ceiling of a yacht when we lived in Seattle.
Yeah. What was that like?
That was really interesting, working with about 200 men on a job site.
Uh-huh.
That was actually really cool. So I worked directly with this interior designer, and he wanted me to the entire look of the yacht was all Art Deco, right? Remember Art Deco?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So the ceiling in the dining room was, God, it had to have been 20 feet long, and the fiberglass, when they were building it, they were able to remove that piece, which was like concave, right? A little bit of an arch like this. And they were able to lean it up against the wall, in this room. I leaned it up against the room. Against the wall, in this room. And I literally spent weeks painting that entire thing. So I created like an Art Deco design, and then behind the design were clouds and sky and some stars all over. It was, like I say, very Art Deco. And then they took that piece after it was painted, and I treated it all and protected it, and then they installed it in the yacht. And then another area, he walked into the yacht, and he had another artist create a glass. It was a huge circle, and that when you walked in, it was just like carving in glass of water and a mermaid or something like that, from what I remember. Right,
Mm-hmm.
like as you walked in, and behind it was the blue that I was painting that had some silver in it, so it kind of glittered through. It was really very pretty.
Mm-hmm.
So then when you walked in and walked around, you had like the family room area, and then down the hall had a spiral staircase that would go up, and all in that staircase and along the wall, like the ground walls, that was all painted blue tones, all different blue tones, with little silver leafing that I had to paint on, so you never work with silver or gold leafing. You have to paint that adhesive down, and then you take the really, really thin paper, right, of the gold or the silver, and you have to stick it on. So
Mm-hmm.
my neck was killing. I literally did that through this entire area, all the way up to the ceiling, right? then that eventually connected the other way into the family room. And there I did more of the blue tones with the silver leafing of the stars. But then in between it, I had another like Art Deco design, you know, your typical Art Deco look going right through it. It was really cool. It was really neat. I spent months there.
How big was this yacht?
I think it was 155. Pretty sure, if I remember.
That's that 155 feet?
155 feet, yeah. Mm-hmm. I'm pretty
wow.
sure. But don't hold me to that because I don't remember now. I don't remember. That was
You're like, oh, it has a spiral staircase, had a couple helipads, a swimming pool. Like, oh my gosh, is this Richie Rich's yacht here? Like, that's pretty cool.
It was really, really neat. And, you know, they had a whole ceremony when it was done, you know, completed, right? And they got to take off and travel and all. Oh, yeah. It was huge. It was really cool. It was a nice experience. It was a great experience. It was a great experience. I loved it. One of the interior designers had another friend who was an interior that I was working with in Seattle. She had another designer, and they must have been talking. And they said, I need somebody who could paint some walls. And she's like, you got to call Christina. So that's how I got the job. It was awesome.
I was about to ask, like, where do you land these jobs? They're like this. That's quite the amazing, like, what would you call it? Like a notch on the resume, CV, right? Painted a 155-foot yacht, right? Or the half dome ceiling, right?
Interior, right, exactly. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Did it lead you to any other exciting commissions of that sort?
I don't know if that one in particular didn't lead me to other murals of that in the area. Not that designer.
Okay.
But the other interior designer who was probably I had most of my business with, she gave me a number of jobs. I've done a number of things with her, you know. Yeah. But then I left the Seattle area because, you know, when I was there, even though I was repping all these other artists, but when you're in your space, you know, or in your town where you're living, like I was in Seattle, right? So that greater area, I was able to go out and do all these custom things, right? Mm-hmm. That's kind of cool. That's pretty neat.
There was a high demand for custom stuff?
I have to chime back into that. I've been paying a lot of attention just doing my own paintings, you know? I need to chime back into that because it's really fun. I have a fun time dealing with designers, right?
Okay.
Because I love interiors. I like designing things too, right? That's not my background. I didn't go to college for that, but I love working with them and I love doing that myself, right? So I have to get back into that. It's on my list to get that going.
How does one work with like a designer? Like what's like the dialogue kind of function? Like what's that? How's that work?
Well, you have to understand their clientele, right? You have to ask them, who are you dealing with? What kind of space are you designing? What is the space, right? So are we doing a pool room? Are we doing a family room, bedroom, whatever that might be, right? What's the color schemes? What do you got going? Like, what's the theme? What's the look? What are the colors, right? And then you also have to understand their style. So, you know, when you do commission work, do you ever do commission work for people? Do you do some yourself at all?
I do, but I do what I want.
Yeah, okay.
like,
hey, that's pretty cool.
You're paying for my aesthetic. That's what you're paying for. You're not making that's so I do commissions. Like, I want this, but do it the way that you want it to look like. Right. So,
but that's cool too, right? That's great. That's pretty cool that you could do that too. When I deal with when I do custom work, I want to get to know them, you know, and understand their area and what they like and what they the type of some people are very traditional, right, with their interiors. right? Some people are traditional. Some people are more contemporary. I don't know. Everybody's got different looks, you know?
Yeah.
If you go to their place, it's so much easier to read that and to understand who they are without coming straight out and saying, so what do you like? You know, sometimes they don't even know. You know, are you traditional in your interior? Do you like modern looking furniture? Like, what do you enjoy? What do you like? And a lot of people don't understand what they even like. And that's okay, right? That's why they also hire interior designers to help them out. And or someone like me to help do that. And I find my biggest success is when I can take some of my paintings that I have in stock, like some of my paintings that I have, if I know what they're kind of liking, if they say, oh, I like that painting, right? I could take things that are similar and go to their space. And when you're there and go, hey, I really want a painting to go here over the dining room table, right? That type of thing in the, you know, I could put things up, hang things in that area, and then they get to start to see what they like. Might not be the same size, you know, but like I'll tell you, experience I had months back with somebody that they loved a particular painting that they saw that I posted. And they said, I love those colors. I love that movement. It was an abstract painting of mine. I love the feel, the whole thing, right? And then said, I want to do something. We need something for over our bed. So I brought a number of paintings. I brought a size, a canvas, a particular horizontal, larger size that I thought would be appropriate for the area to go over a bed. You know what I mean? Right? Like something that would typically look good. And then I brought all these other paintings of different colors and all that were in that same type of scheme that they liked. And by doing that, they can see that this horizontal, a longer, thinner painting works well over a bed, right? Instead of square. So, because sometimes like people don't get it, right? They don't understand, and that's fine. That's why I'm here, right? To help that out. So to hang that over and go, see, this is what it looks like. And then these are the colors that you like. So I could do this look, these colors in this size canvas over your bed, right? It makes sense. But when you're, I mean, okay, that's the short version.
Yeah.
But
much longer than that.
Yeah. But when you're there, you're working at it. And you know what was really fun is I had just finished another painting that was a total different look, right? And different color scheme, bright like greens and oranges and yellows and reds. And his wife saw it and she said, oh my God, she fell in love with it. Ironically, I just brought it there for fun. She fell in love with it because it was a new painting I had just finished. Fell in love with it. And she goes, this is going to work perfectly in my office. And I sold that one to them too. So it was awesome. It's kind of fun, right? This is the whole good part about when you have that, you can make that personal connection with somebody and bring your art to their place, right? It's really fun. It's really good. I like it. I enjoy doing it.
Sounds like it. Yeah, like you have a lot of experience. I'm feeling really small with the art and the like the networking. Now, what would you call it? Like business savvy. I've never really been really savvy in that sense. I kind of like a hermit, you know. I just want to draw and like kind of leave me be type of mentality. But the problem is you can't do that in the art world. Like it's like you don't want to be the world's greatest artist living in your basement, you know.
Yeah.
You're like, no one's gonna know your work. You don't want to be like Van Gogh. Is it Van Gogh or Van Gogh, right? I think people pronounce it Van Gogh sometimes. What do you say?
I never heard that before.
Yeah, or Van Gogh.
That way, Van Gogh.
Yeah.
That's what I heard.
Yeah.
I took 4 years of art history in college. My least favorite course. I think it was Van Gogh, but I could be wrong.
I don't know.
Hey, that's college, right?
So
yeah. Is there
Tell me.
anything wrong with you just hanging out though and doing the paintings that you enjoy for yourself? Or is it your mission not only paint what you enjoy, but also make a living?
Hmm. I don't know. That's a big question. I don't know. I make a living other ways, you know.
You do, you say?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
But I get to paint what I want. But then again, in the end, I'd rather be painting all day. That's what I'd rather be doing. But that's a huge.
So then painting all day, then you have to make a living doing that. So there you go. Then
Yeah.
you kind of figure it out. You paint, then paint what you want, and make sure you sell it and make a living, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, this is getting really personal. I feel like I'm being interviewed now. Oh no. Someone's like I'm
These are all questions I've asked myself over the years too.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
right?
it's I've always been bad at marketing, and it's just one of those things. And I've never there's no like art school. Sorry, I love you, art school. You gave me some skills. You didn't give me any marketing or business savvy.
Mm.
You know.
So you jumped away from those courses, right?
They didn't provide them.
Where'd you go?
Memphis College of Art. Like they don't or like I wasn't offered that. Like what they really probably should have done. Colleges probably should. I think many conversations that I had, there needs to be a marketing, like a whole marketing, not like how to submit your portfolio to a company, but like how to market yourself and to sell your art class. You know, there needs to be that.
Totally, I so agree with you. Yep, that's absolutely true. Yep,
I
that's
was like,
hardest thing. That is hard.
Yeah, because all they had was like, hey, this is the professional thing you do. You got to build a portfolio, and then you got to like submit it to blah 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 blah, right? Whoever is there. But that what goes after that is the big thing. Like you could throw out your artwork to as many institutions and companies as you like. But what after that? What happens after that? You know?
Yeah.
And I think it sounds like you know when you got into that marketing that path, it basically it kind of like you put you on a path to really understand how to sell artwork, you know.
Yeah.
And so that's really cool. I never like that's why I'm asking questions about designers, like what do you do, like and it's different now, you know.
It's all different now. Before, you know, before I
No, I mean like just this different because of the internet. Like we all think that because we don't need to be we can't contact them. We don't need to be in contact. We just throw out our portfolio via JPEGs to a gallery, you know, and you can follow up and they might say, oh, I've never seen it. You know, it might went to spam, right? Maybe the galleries just like look at every email and click every 10th one.
Because they get hundreds of those a week,
mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
So how do you stand out? I read a couple books, you know, on it, and this one guy says, and he's been involved in the art field forever, right? He's a gallery owner, and in Scottsdale, Arizona, mm-hmm. and he grew up with it because his father was an artist, and talked about in the book how he remembers how his parents, you know, lugged the paintings around and just walked into the galleries and tried to get them to represent him, right? Like mm-hmm. what we used to do many years ago. He swears to just not make an appointment with the gallery and, you know, stand out and walk in and just say, here's my work. Like, I want to show you. I want you to, you know, represent, like, just approach them. Where I've had other galleries, here I am listening to the book, and I've had, you know, his advice. And I've walked into other galleries and they're like, you know, I really don't have the time, and thinking that's not very professional. Like, my time's very valuable, and make an appointment to come in, you know, been very mad about me just walking in, you know?
Yeah.
So I don't know. I guess it could go either way. I'm not really sure. I want to. I need a few more galleries in the country. I would enjoy a few more galleries representing me right now. You know, that would help out. That's what I really would love. So I'm working towards that. I have a couple, you know, but I'm working towards a few. But I need a few more, or I would enjoy a few more, you know. So it's kind of hard, you know. I've also had people go, the only way you're going to get a gallery is you know somebody, right? I don't know. All these things, all these, the different thoughts on how we're going to get our work out there, right? How we're going to get it recognized, but it'll come. It's all right. It will happen.
I'm leaning heavy towards the internet
Yeah.
and the platforms. These platforms, I think there's a major leveraging opportunity that is being undervalued, and the fact that you can connect your audience, you know, on a bigger way, is invaluable, you know.
Yeah.
Um,
I agree. I think that's another angle, right? Don't you think? That's
yeah.
another venue, another way to be selling your work. Right.
Right. So Christina, tell me about, like, how do you start a painting? Like, what do you do? What do you sit there and brood at the canvas and you're like, paint yourself?
I think that question and the question that is most asked. Tell me if you tell me what you think. Everybody else has said too, but the question that's most asked to me is like, how do you know what you're going to draw or paint? How do you know what you're going to paint? And what were you thinking? You ever, right? What were you thinking when you were painting that? Right? I think those are the two most popular questions ever, you know, to an artist when they're painting. And I don't think there's not a set answer on that. There's not a right answer, really. There are times, and I'm not kidding, and I can be kind of type A too sometimes, but there are times where I am laying in bed in the middle of the night and I wake up and these thoughts start coming into my head about my next painting and what I want to do. Mm-hmm. And literally how I'm going to do it. And it's all going through my head in the middle of the night, right? How I'm going to paint it, what colors I'm going to use, what's like how I'm going to paint it, what is it? And I'm literally painting it in my mind. Okay? Painting it in my mind, and I'm like, okay, I got to get up. I have to get up. I have to go to work. I have to go, not go to work, but you know what I mean? Go to my studio and start doing it. Like, so there are times where a vision just comes into my head. It could be something that I saw in the day. I don't know. But it comes to me and I have to do it. And I also find then I'm usually in a really good mood. My mood plays a huge part in my artwork. I'm not kidding. If I am not in a good mood and not happy, my artwork really stinks. And I know it. And it just doesn't work out. But if I'm in a good mood and I'm enjoying myself and I have a vision, you know, like that I thought up in the middle of the night and I'm starting to paint, I could stay in my studio all day long for every day of that week and just keep on going. Mm-hmm. And that works. But then there are times where I'm like, okay, you know, I should be painting. Like I have the time, I need to paint. And sometimes just looking at different things. I love my garden. I love to garden too, you know. So being in my garden is inspiring with everything I have there that maybe I'm very conscious of shapes and colors and the way maybe different things overlap each other and the composition. And I will just start taking that and putting it into my work, which is kind of fun, especially if I'm doing an abstract painting. So some of the design or some of the flowers could come up and, you know, or else not, right? Just depending on where that abstract goes while I'm painting or where these shapes and designs start going into each other. It's it's kind of hard to explain sometimes, right? Or when you're
So you don't. Um, I get it. Like some artists are very pragmatic. You know, they have like a certain set of sequences on how they're painting. You know, especially like realistic painters, representational painters, people that paint from life or paint very classical painting styles. Right? They have to do a certain set of sequences in order to get the skin tone to look like this. And I was
absolutely,
just, you
yeah,
know, like, okay, when you do this, first you got to do numerous studies, then you got to make a life-size drawing, then you got to transfer the life-size drawing, use an old charcoal thing with a pencil and then transfer it over there. Then you got to do a burnt umber or raw umber base, and then you got to do a little bit of a whoa value. Oh no, we lost Christina.
wait
We
a minute,
lost.
can
Oh
you hear me?
yes, yes. You there?
Yeah, I'm here. Can you see me though?
No, I cannot.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
All right. Oh no, will it come back?
I don't know. Were you fiddling with the screen at all, or just went blank?
No, one of my sons
Well,
just called me. I thought I had
uh,
all of that turned off.
uh-oh, uh-oh, okay.
I wonder if
Yeah.
you think it'll come back on, or that I could test
Oh well,
it.
you're gonna have to
Oh,
you have to go up to the screen and mess with it. But I was gonna what was I
we were
talk?
talking about.
Oh yeah, the grisaille, and then all the base layers, all that stuff. You got to do that. So like I was merely curious about how you start a painting, you know, and it seems more organic, more like inspirational in a sense. Would that be a good way to explain it?
Yes, I think so. It would be. Do you see me again now?
No, I do
Oh,
not. You
there's
might
my
need to get one of
son.
your sons to help you for a second. Walk toward their um.
Huh.
So when you were working on a piece, what techniques are you employing? What kind of things are you doing? Like, are you thinning paints? Are you doing some special technique that only you know about?
In my paintings that I'm doing, you're saying
Yes.
like with the type of techniques and the type of art that I'm working on.
Yeah. Like, what do you employ, and what things are you kind of messing with?
So mostly I am working with acrylics lately. And when I'm working with acrylics, it's a very fast drying, pardon me, fast
Hmm.
drying technique. So you do kind of move fast. But then on the other hand, what I love about the acrylics is it could dry, say within 15 minutes. And then
Yeah.
I'm doing layers on top of that, which is really amazing, right? And cool.
Hmm.
Like that's
Yeah.
really cool. And the audio one, I mean, my so my son's here.
Yeah.
My camera went away because Kyle called me, and we can't seem to get my camera back.
This is live.
I
Um,
know, isn't this great?
it's not the worst that's happened on these live streams.
Leave.
Um,
I know. We can't leave and then come
Okay.
back, can we? We don't know.
I can you can leave and come back and then re-enter with through the stream link that I sent you. That might be easier.
Yeah, I don't know.
Here we go.
There
Oh,
you
here
go.
we go.
There we go.
Hey, I told you he was awesome and my techie. But wait, I'm still.
No, you're not. I see you
Oh,
moving.
I'm not.
Yeah,
You
you're
do?
moving. You
Hi.
are moving.
Okay.
Okay.
I gotta head back to my studio.
Okay. So
This is great being live, right? This is
yeah,
happening.
this happens. This happens more often than you think.
All right.
It's,
Sorry about that.
so you use acrylic. Are you using a are you thinning the acrylic at all? Is it making like, because it looks like you make it kind of like a wash.
Yes, I do. So I'm gonna put my mechanism back. Are we there?
Yeah.
Can you still hear?
Yeah.
Yes, so I do. I have, so acrylics, heavy body acrylics, which are different than the flow ones and the more liquidy, right? So the heavy body acrylics are in the tubes or the jugs, and they're much thicker. And I do water those down, right? So those are watered down, and I can make layers. So like earlier, I was saying how the fun part about acrylics is they do dry pretty quickly, and I do a lot of layers. I do a lot of layers with my work. So I could water down the acrylics, do some layers in certain colors all over the canvas, and then come back to it. And then it dries 10, 15 minutes. It's dry. I could add some more layers. The layers give it so much interest. But then those are when it's thinned down. And then I also could take acrylics and do it really, really thick and heavy, right? A thicker type of brush strokes or whatever that might be.
Yeah.
And that's so it's really interesting. I think you get a lot of different type of technique that you could have with acrylics. I think it's really fun. And in my artwork, I also use put plaster down sometimes,
Plaster?
or like a gel medium on the canvas, and it creates a texture on my work. And then you have the texture that's coming off of the canvas, and that gives it another dimension. Yeah, it's really fun to play with. It's really.
Do you mix the gel medium with your paints to make it like a colored texture?
I don't usually do that. No, I usually just put that gel medium down and I let it dry overnight. And like the different plaster, it's kind of plaster texture. I let that dry and then I paint on top of it. I would imagine you can, right?
Yeah,
People
you can.
do, but I just don't. No, I don't do that. I'm not used to that. I should try that. I should try it.
What have you tried any like a coarse gel, what's it called, like coarse pumice gel for like your gel mediums for your paint to kind of make a really toothy texture?
I have used different types of mediums that are thicker like that. I don't like it too heavy. Too thick. I don't like it too thick. Yeah.
So do you like to do you lean more on the glazing wash side, or like you're staining the canvas, as opposed to putting layers of thick paint?
No, I do both.
Okay.
I really do both. There are times where it is really thin, and I'm doing layers over layers of colors, and then there are times where I'm using it really, really thick and painting it and maybe smoothing it out and blending it into another color. So obviously you have to add water into it and blend it with other colors. Yeah. So a couple different ways I'm using it. But see, that's another reason why I actually like acrylics. I like that. You can't do that with oils, you could always go back into your painting, your oil painting, and work with that. That's fun too. I did oils for a little bit, but I never really continued it. It wasn't my thing,
It's a very slow medium.
Yeah.
It
is, isn't it?
It's a very slow medium, but it yields a certain finish that it's hard to get with acrylic.
Yeah.
But
absolutely, two different looks, right?
Yeah. You can get like that like beefy, like thick paint with an oil, but you're gonna wait forever for it to dry, and I don't think the like acrylic mediums I've been playing around, they just have all these like weird funky texture mediums you can buy that you just can't. I guess you could use it with oil, but it'd have to be an oil-based one, but they don't have those.
I think it's just with acrylics, right?
Yeah. So typically,
have you tried them?
Have I tried what?
Using those different mediums with your acrylics?
The toothy texture mediums.
Yeah, yeah. Have you tried it? Mixing it?
with my mediums. Oh yeah, that's how I do most of it. I don't
Pardon me. Okay, all right. I missed that part. Sorry. Okay. Yeah.
yeah. Um, typically, how long does it take you to do a painting?
Oh gosh. A lot of it depends on the size, obviously.
Mhm.
I can work on a painting for a week, or I could work on it for a few weeks.
Mhm.
That depends. It depends on the size. Depends
Yeah.
on what's happening. Yeah, it does. So it can. Can you take her? Yeah. So I would say a smaller painting. I could get smaller, right?
Yeah.
Could take me. I could finish it within the week, right?
Yeah.
But some of the larger ones, it could be weeks, for sure.
What's the longest painting you've ever worked on? Like the longest amount of time?
Um, Probably a month.
A month?
Not that I was doing it every day, though.
Mhm.
You're right.
Mhm.
I'm never, unfortunately, I'm never painting every day. You know, life happens too, right? And I'm doing everything else. Uh, Unfortunately, I don't get to paint enough, right? So, but I do. But I would say a month. Really large painting.
How large?
It was large. It is, and actually, no, there was another one years back. Recently, I had done a very large painting that's in a gallery right now. But it is, I think it was, I mean, I can look it up. It's around the ballpark of 65 by 89, something like that.
Inches or feet?
No, inches. No, inches. Inches. Like twice the thickness of this. Like
Mhm.
really big.
Yeah.
Would take up like this whole wall. Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
It took you a month to do that. Do you
Yeah.
stretch your own canvases?
Not anymore.
They can be a pain, can't they?
It is such a pain. Oh my gosh, do I have respect for all the artists that stretch their own canvas? Wow.
Yeah, they can be like
Oh
but
wow, yeah.
but if you want to get a big canvas and you want to save money,
It's
make your own.
expensive, right?
Yeah, they're like a big canvas. I don't even know how much it would cost. I know I can make like 10 6 by 6 foot canvases for like the price of one
Yeah.
uh semi okay grade 6 by 6 foot canvas that I'd buy. I don't know.
Yeah.
Um
I actually have I have a great company. This guy who works out of Southern Cal that I deal with, and even with the shipping, his stretch canvas prices are cheaper. So he's pretty great. It's awesome.
you're gonna forward me his information. I might look into it.
I absolutely will. Yeah.
I like wood panels. Does he do wood panels?
I haven't asked.
I might we'll see. Yeah, forward me that information. I'd like to know about that
I will.
person.
I absolutely will.
Um,
Yeah.
I'm not unable to make my own services. I lack the time. Like it's either like, do I paint, right, or do I spend all my time making services and then kind of juggling between the two, you know?
Yeah. I hear you totally. Yeah.
So at the very, very beginning, you talked about you had a busy day. Do you have any habits that
Sorry,
that
I know you're thinking of where that's gonna go.
that help you be more productive?
Being organized. Are you kidding?
Being organized.
Absolutely. Yeah. Being
Because a lot of artists aren't that organized. What do you do? What's your organizational like?
I know what's
Help.
happening each day. I have to have my day planned.
Okay.
My week planned. Go by a schedule. Absolutely. Schedule things in. I'm certainly not a couch potato. So I'm not hanging out just doing nothing, watching TV, wasting time. And so yes, I have to be organized. I have to be organized to get everything done in the day. You know, I know for like the next few days, besides my artwork and what I'm working on, I know this is what I'm making. Oh, and I also love to cook. So of course it's important to me to know the next few days what I'm cooking, have the shopping done, have it all ready to go in my head. I know what I'm gonna do, know what time I have to get started to like, so everything is planned. Everything's planned on what I'm gonna do, you know. In between classes I could run off and go put another load of laundry on or fold and just go, man. I don't stop. I don't stop until we hang out. Is it time for me now for my tea to move on to my wine? Is it okay?
That's a big glass of wine. It would have been hilarious if it was filled up to the top. It'd be time for me to drink my wine. I've been staring at this glass of wine for about an hour here, Matt, and it was been out of the frame the whole time. And I was just waiting for the meeting to be this conversation to be over so I can just drink this. But it's been eyeing me the whole time. I'm just going to take it. I'm going to drink. Yeah. But go ahead. Like unless you're going to do like some wine bump where you're going to say this wine is from said winery. And you're like, oh, okay.
No, I'm not going to do that. I was just curious. It's pretty dark out now because I'm on a different time zone for you. So I just feel it's time, you know?
Yeah. So I again another. This is another thing. Like as I say, like universities, colleges that teach art, they teach you one thing: how to be like. They teach you the fundamentals. They don't teach you like the life things that you need to be a successful artist. And I'm not. And that's not their goal, right? They're not. You didn't go on there to like, how do you do this? You like, I want to learn how to be good at making like things look like the things I'm seeing, not how do I take the thing that I made look like the thing I'm seeing and sell it, you know?
Right. Yeah.
And and like, so one of those things was time management. And this, like, I've never been like super good at it. I've gotten incredibly better. So one of the things I do, I don't know, I want to know how you kind of structure your day. I can kind of forecast. I have a 2-year-old, so I don't know what's going to happen for like in like these blocks of time. Like, oh, maybe I might be able to do something. I don't know.
Right.
Like maybe I might read to her. She might want to do not that. You know, she might want to go play with blocks for 30 minutes. I don't know. So what I typically have been doing is at night I'll kind of look at what I've kind of accomplished, and I'll write down the next day that I of the next block or the next day of events.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
I had the time. I generally have like the first 4 hours kind of blocked out. I already know what those are. But the other thing, the other areas that I have are kind of open, and depending upon whether or not how agreeable my daughter is at the time, I might be able to get something done. So I write the night before a schedule. How do you know? What do you said you block out 3 days ahead of time, or how does that work? How do you know?
That was just that was just thinking me in my head about dinners.
Oh.
Because I was telling you, I love to cook, so I love to cook. And I find it important to make really healthy, important meals, like cooked meals, for the family and for us. So I want to go ahead and so if I'm doing the food shopping to save time, I need to have a few days planned out, of what I'm making. Doesn't always work, but sometimes. And but for planning the day, a lot of times I'll have a list of all these things that I need to get done today, or I want to get done this week, right? And so I do need to, I think about, there's a certain time which is usually mornings, that I will do what we were referring to about the marketing, right? Get all that going, or handle the emails, handle anything that has to do with the art business to get that organized and done, right? So that's on its way for the day. Find it really important, which I have to do in the mornings or I'll never get it done, but I find it really important for a person to work out and to exercise and keep healthy. So, and I think you get a lot more energy when you're working out. You feel better about yourself. And I just think it's all needed for a complete person, you know, for us to do our work, do our paintings, do our artwork and life, you know? So I have to do that first thing in the morning, and then I get on with my marketing with them, whatever it might be. Today my day was filled with my art lessons, like we talked about earlier. But it could be, you know, half the day out, you know, in my studio painting, who knows, right? And then moving on to the rest of things in life. So, you know, what you normally do, right? You know, take a break, have some lunch, get back to painting. You know, you have all this stuff that you have to plan. I don't know. I've kind of always been organized in that way. So,
so it's a skill set that a lot of these things I like to bring them up because like I feel they're super undervalued, and also they're all skills that can be learned, and the notion that you're like, oh well, I'm just not that way, this doesn't jive with me as a person. Like I was like, oh, I've never been organized. Like, listen, when I was a kid, I had toys everywhere. It was always a mess. Like there was no floor. There was no floor. There's,
Yeah.
you know, my studio. Like I'm constantly battling my paints. I'm moving things around because I'm always getting it. Like, and I have to reorganize it. So I understand the whole like I'm unorganized thing. But you know, you gotta have something. You gotta stick to some sort of schedule. You gotta have like artists have to, like if you want to be successful, you got to have something to kind of guide your day, because like when you're gonna paint, like,
Yeah.
whenever I feel like it. Well, when's that? When I get home from work, after dinner, before dinner.
Yeah. Right.
No, first I gotta do load and relax, kick my feet up, and watch a show, have a soda pop or a beer, and then when I'm done with that, I'll go down and I'll go to my studio and do some artwork. Like, well, maybe by that time it's like 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock. You got to go to bed, you know. So like, the getting organized thing, I think is vastly undervalued. The whole marketing thing, you know, charisma probably might be a good thing to have. Like, you can't go around being unless you're really, 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 really good at your art. Like you're like the top 1% in the skill set. You probably could get away with being a mean person, you know. Like you could be really hard to work with, but the person that you're so good that your difficulty as a person trumps over that, right? But like for the most part, you're probably not going to be that individual where you can be really rude to people and still have business. So maybe charisma, having being nice and
Well, don't you want to be a nice, good person anyway, no matter what?
yeah. I'm not referring to me. I'm just saying like in general, like you might, I don't know. There might be some angry artists out there. I mean, Jackson Pollock was an angry drunk artist, right?
They all have their issues, right?
Yeah, like so, like from what I hear, he was angry person, or maybe he was just depicted as angry in that movie I saw of him
Yeah.
about him. So
Yeah, right.
maybe he was super nice. I don't know. But I heard he was difficult, but you know he was at the time that revolutionary artist, and the people wanted some of that artwork, right?
Yeah.
But
Right.
yeah, marketing and time management super undervalued, and
I
you
agree.
know, I found it interesting to hear you talk about that, and exercising. I love exercising. You know, it's one of the it would be the third thing I do in the morning.
Hmm.
Like after 30 minutes of being up, it's the third thing. So, so
That's
it's what.
good. What do you
So
like
I
to
like.
lift?
Well, right now I can only do about, because of what I used to do, which was like
Yeah.
really heavy weights, and that would be like
Oh, really?
hours and hours of my time. I don't
Yeah.
have that. I don't
Yeah.
have hours to give of my time, and that type of work exercise is actually will be draining. You
Mhm.
know, like you're like, oh gosh, I just lifted a half a car. I'm
Get
I got
out, really?
I gotta sit down. I gotta sit down and
Yeah.
not move. All right. So now it's just like two lifts, two compound lifts that I do for 30 minutes. So so
Uh-huh.
like today was like shoulder presses in a power rack.
Yeah, yeah,
You know,
yeah.
seated shoulder presses for 15 minutes. Not 15 minutes straight. I'm not just like just press it, but like, I after however many sets I do like dumbbell raises and that's it, and then I go and do some painting, then I go do my commissions, you know.
Good.
So yeah, I think it's super beneficial. Like, yeah, people, that's an undervalued thing. Like, if you're tired, it's a weird effect how exercising does that,
How it helps, right? Tom, I need a
Yeah.
charger, please. Can you get me a charger?
But yeah,
Yeah, I know. I don't. You talked about like spending a couple hours like with lifting and all that. Like, wow, man, that's fantastic. I don't do that long.
oh,
If I'm
not anymore.
yeah,
That was like
no, I do an I'll do an hour
yeah.
workout, bang it out, and that'll be done. But like, I do love hiking.
Mhm.
Where we live here in California, there's a lot of trails, so that's awesome. I could go on a hike and I could be out there, do 5, 6, 7 miles, right? So that's really fun, to do. Can you plug it in for me?
Do you wear a weight? Do you wear like a weighted vest?
Behind the candle is a thing. Huh?
Do you wear a weighted vest when you go hiking?
No, shorts and t-shirt. I'm in California. It was 90
oh,
degrees here today.
oh,
It was
oh,
90,
that
right?
is actually hot. That's really hot for California, isn't it?
Right now we're having some really hot weather. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Um,
crazy. Yeah. Shorts, man. Yeah.
segueing, going back to the scheduling, what would you have to do? What would you have to accomplish in a day to consider it a success?
Wait, say that again. Is this along the art part?
What would you have to accomplish in a day to consider it a success? Like, what do you have, like set goals or set like markers that you want to do, like finish or complete in a day? Like, what would be the perfect day for
Now
you?
we're going to hit into the obsessive part, aren't we? um, my to-do list. If I get all the stuff done, I'm feeling pretty great.
How big is your to-do list right now?
What is my to-do list?
Well, I mean, you don't have to name it out, but like, how big is it right now? Do you have like?
Yeah, I got too much going on right now. I got a lot going on right now. Yeah.
I
But
try to.
yeah, I think yeah, I have. Well, let me say it this way, because I am fanatic about the things that need to get done and not procrastinating. Okay. I like to get, if I need to have something taken care of or done or whatever it might be, I do not like to put it off, because
Yeah.
when I put it off, it drives me nuts in my head. Okay, I can't procrastinate. So all the things that I have to do and need to get done, that is all great. That's on my so-called list.
Mhm.
But I like to work fun into there too, right?
Mhm.
So I might have a gazillion things to do in that week, but if I have a girlfriend calling me up or something like that and says, "Come on, let's go for lunch," I'm going to take a break, because I find it important, just like working out, right? I also find my fun time very important, and it's cool, right? I think it's okay. I think we have to do a little bit of all of it, you know, a little bit of everything, right? The things that we have to do, our responsibilities, our fun stuff, you know, our artwork obviously is my work, but I enjoy it. I fully enjoy it. I think I'm really fortunate that I could paint and do something I love and get paid for it. I think that's great. You know, I think it's really sad when there's people out there working at a job every day and they're miserable. Like, are you kidding me? I can't comprehend that.
What
Can't do
what's
that.
what would you say to that individual?
What do you love to do? What do you love to do? Like, what makes you happy in your day?
What kind of guidance would you give to that person to help them?
To go find what that is. I don't know. I guess it all depends. What makes you happy, right? What do you want to
Yeah.
do? You wake up in the morning. What gets you to jump out of bed and run to your work or run to your day? What is it? That's why, you know, my husband and I are really big with that. Like, we've told our kids, like, whatever it ends up being, at the end of the day, you have to be happy, right?
Yeah.
You have to be happy with what you're going to do. You know, all the other stuff will come, you know, come to you, you know. What makes you happy? So, and that's important to me. It's really important to me to enjoy what you're doing. But I feel really blessed and fortunate, right? I can, right? I am happy doing what, you know, having my artwork, you know, and making a living out of it. I think that's pretty good, right? I guess I have wonderful support, you know, from my two boys and my husband, and I couldn't do half of what I do if it wasn't for my husband and his career, you know. So we're fine. I'm lucky in that way. I really am. I know I am, and I'm thankful for it, you know. So that's it. So the person who isn't happy, you know, every day when they're going out the door, that's kind of sad. I think they need to figure out what makes them happy first, right? That's what I would do. What makes you happy, you know? Like this one particular student that I was talking about earlier when we were talking about conversations. You know what we talk about, Riley? Sorry, my dog's barking. So you know, he loves animals, dogs. He loves to walk dogs, you know?
Yeah.
So that's what he does. That's his job. He's a dog walker, you know? So that's kind of cool, you know, that he does what he wants, right?
Does he do it through the app called like WAG? Is it WAG? Do you know app?
No,
you know
he
what?
has his own. He has his own thing. Yeah. He has his own clients that he's acquired through, you know, other people, right?
Yeah.
Recommendations. Yeah. Or connections. So he gets his jobs that way. But yeah, I've talked to him about that, about going with WAG, you know. But he does fine just working for himself, so he doesn't need to change it right now, you know. But he does. But so, you know, here's a student of mine, and he's got this part-time job that he does himself, and he's really happy with it. Like, he enjoys that, you know. So, and he makes dog treats.
That's
right?
cool.
Yeah, he makes. So there are all natural dog treats, and either gives them to, you know, clients or sells them, and all. So it's kind of fun, right? He's doing something that he enjoys, you know. Now, this is a student. It's not somebody who's 50 years old and has, you know, a mortgage and all that to support. So granted, I understand, you know, what it takes, right? Like, or what you need to do, right? Your responsibilities, right? Because wouldn't that person who isn't, you know, says, yeah, well, I have to have this job because I have to make this money. Okay, I can understand and respect that, but can we work towards doing something that makes you happy, right?
Yeah, on the side, right? Do it on the side, like in the evening. You know, we're gonna look like, oh, okay. What was it? Tony Robbins, or was it Tony Little? Tony Robbins. Is Tony Robbins the motivational speaker? Tony Robbins. He was like, I heard him like he'd talk like he'd make the analogy like, oh, you got that 9 to 5, and then you get home, like, that's cool. Where's your third shift, man? You know?
Yeah.
Where's your third shift? You got to put in that extra 4 hours, you know?
Yeah.
And And that's probably where the exercising comes in. You need that exercise to give you that extra boost, you know?
Yeah, give you the energy, right? To keep you going. When you're feeling healthy and you're happy and all, doesn't that keep you going?
Yeah, yeah. And um uh, the maybe the psychological effects from this from being in a job that you don't like might be kind of draining at the end of the day, and that might lead
Of
to the
course.
lack of motivation, right? And I think a lot of us have been in that situation. I've been in that
Oh yeah.
situation. I've been in very physically and mentally draining jobs that really put me in like a spiral where I wasn't able to make any work because I'm not, I was probably physically and mentally tired. I probably could have eked out an hour in the evening. You know,
Yeah.
I probably could have if I self reflect. You
Yeah.
know, I don't know if I could have do a 4 hours, but I probably could definitely have eked out 1 hour right after work, and that would have probably been better than nothing. You know,
Yeah.
um,
I hear you. Yeah. I understand.
so like I guess building towards something, you know, you got to find your why. Is that what would it be something to kind of say to that person?
Find why, like what you're doing, what it is.
Find your meaning, your what, or find your what or
Yeah.
why.
Whatever it is.
Yeah. Um.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we
What are we here
we
for, right? Like,
yeah.
what are you here on this week? What do you want to do? What is it? Why are you here? What is your meaning in life? What are your goals, right?
Yeah, and it's good that you tell that to your boys and your kids, right? Like that, like you gotta, you really do gotta look for what kind of makes you happy, you know, um, uh,
Right. I mean,
because you
yeah.
and
Life's too
really try,
short, don't you think?
yeah,
I
yeah.
don't know.
You get one role. What was it? You ever heard of Gary V?
Gary who? I
Gary Vaynerchuk?
don't think so.
Well, he like he there's this what is it like I'm gonna look up right now. One
We get one try at this.
uh um okay, it's like uh it's okay, in order to exist, it's like 400 trillion to 1. So like for in order for you to actually be you,
Yeah.
the odds of you
Yeah.
being you are 400 trillion to 1. So the odds of you existing, you
Yeah.
know? And that's like like I think the joke was like you have a better chance of winning the lottery like 5 times over and not even being alive at the time than actually than you will be in existence, which is kind of weird. Like how can I win the lottery 5 times over if I don't exist? I know, right?
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, so like you ever heard of YOLO? YOLO, you only live once. You only live once, right? Yeah, you only get one roll. You only get one try. You don't want to kind of end with some sort of regret. So I agree. So we kind of talked about like marketing. So what other marketing tips can you tips and
No, I
tricks or
stink at marketing. Are you kidding me? I can't
you
talk
stink
about marketing.
you stink at marketing?
Yeah.
It sounds like you were pretty successful in the marketing game.
I don't know. Not with Let's
Okay,
Go.
well, what kind of like advice? Okay, we'll skip that question. You stink at marketing. Who cares? We're not going to give you that. That's a dumb question. We're not going to answer that question. I don't even want to listen to it. I don't want to hear your answer on that one. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. No. So if you don't, okay, you're not good at marketing, but you're very proficient in a lot of things, as it sounds like it. So that's something I was not expecting. You know, I wasn't like, wasn't that threw me off. Like, wow, all these cool stories, um, that you've done. So I'm really interested about that. That really intrigued me. What advice can you give to other artists?
I think the most important thing as an artist to do is to paint or to draw, whatever it might be, whatever your medium is, to paint what you love to do,
Hmm.
the style you love. Don't paint something that you think will just sell, or for something somebody else would, you think they will like. Because if you're doing something that you enjoy every day, like if you are painting, if it's, I don't care, say it's landscapes, you love painting landscapes, realistic landscapes, paint them. Because I think your passion and your love and your soul and your heart will come out in your paintings. And that's what's going to work. Because, and I feel I've learned that over the years when I've done things that maybe the market is asking for, you know, and I don't really like it, but I'm doing it because it might sell. It's not that good. And you're
What
not
are your
really,
thoughts on people that do that?
huh?
What are your thoughts on individuals that kind of like do that, like I, you know, or like this is what you see, like some celebrity passes away, and then all of a sudden you see a flood of like artists like making images of that art, like, of that celebrity, you know,
Yeah.
or like that's one type of thing that I see a lot, you know, or
Yeah.
where like, oh well, in honor of this person, I made this and I'm selling it now, right? And people start buying it because they have that nostalgia feel, and like there's this, you know,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's not me for sure. I kind of think they're playing on what has happened, right? The tragic thing that has happened.
yeah,
You know, they're working on that. That's not really me, but um, you know, that's their choice. I'm not going to tell somebody else they're wrong for that at all,
yeah,
right? I mean, if they want to do that, all I'm saying is, you know, maybe those artists, you know, are portrait artists and they love it
yeah,
and they do it, and that's great, good for them, right?
yeah,
That they're doing that. I'm not into that, right? I'm doing something
yeah,
else, but you know, and you know, for I think for artists, I think everything that um, I think you need to decide, or you need to really take a good look at yourself about what you enjoy and what
yeah,
medium you enjoy. I've experimented in many different types of mediums. You know, I mean, I've done pottery, I've done sculptures, um, played with oils for a while. Obviously, I do acrylics now, mixed media
yeah.
work, watercolors. Watercolors are a favorite of mine. They really
Oh
are.
yeah,
They're a favorite to mine. Yeah. Watercolors, pencil, everything. You know, I love them all, but the thing that I have the most fun with are abstract paintings. My abstract paintings. That's what I have the most fun with. So that's what I've been working on now, because in my time now in my life I can, and it's working. So I'm doing it. You know. Have you ever played like acoustic type of paintings? You know, or I mean work, the melted wax.
oh, and caustic.
Yeah. Have you ever done that?
Have I ever played? No, I've seen some artists. I've seen some of it. Seen some of that work. Yeah.
That's really, really fascinating. Really neat. I want to
It,
play with
it,
it a little bit. Huh?
I can it be kind of a you have to wear a lot of masks, don't you, for the
I don't think so. I don't know. I did
um
when I've done it before. I didn't do it. I sure hope.
mhm.
I sure hope I wasn't supposed to.
Yeah, yeah. I heard that it could be it's kind of bad to breathe in. I don't know. Maybe I'm maybe I heard
Oh,
wrong. I don't know.
I don't know. Well, maybe. I don't know. I want to look into it a lot more. I want to play with it some. You know, I want to do
It
that.
it's very like
It's
it's
fascinating. The
it
layers.
like yeah, it's pretty. Like it like cause it makes like a foggy appearance, you know?
Yeah, kind of right.
And it's really interesting to see how that works. So you're gonna is that gonna be something you're gonna be doing next? Is encaustic?
I want to try it. I want to get into it. I mean, I have tried it. Okay. I did take a course on it. I have done that. But I want to go out and invest in a lot of the materials and give it a go.
Mm-hmm.
I've been really
Yeah.
thinking about it lately. Yeah. I think it'll be fun.
I've been thinking about using silk screen.
Oh yeah. All right.
I want a silk screen on some of my work.
Yeah. You gotta get a big space
And
for
just
that.
well, not like a, no, not like a just get a silk screen sheet and just kind of on top of it, like very industrial looking, not like professional, make it look all clean and such.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah. Fun, huh?
Yeah, I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying the acrylic right now, so I understand the appeal to acrylic. I'll go with the following the art that you like to make. What do you say to the artist that has had success with some work, like really good success, and they're like, man, let's just say that this person started out painting barns. It's like I kind of I semi liked painting barns, but not really enough. But they just sell, and so I'm making barns, but now I find it soul crushing. Like, what do you say about the artists that like they just kind of did they're in the exploratory phase that you're saying, like there's exploring different medias, and all of a sudden they hit like the jackpot. This is the barnyard John painter, right? And
Yeah.
all he does is make barns.
Right.
What do
Well,
you say about that person who's like, I don't want to paint barns, but they're putting food in the plate in the house or something like that, you know?
well, maybe we all have to do what we have to do, and
Yeah.
if that person is is a painter and enjoys painting, good for him. And if right now in his time, if he has to go ahead and do that to make a living because he has responsibilities, then
Yeah.
that's just the way life is right now. And hopefully he could take that same talent, because think about all the talent that he has to sell a painting of a barn, and he could take that and sell a painting of whatever other topic he loves,
Yeah.
maybe, or image.
Maybe.
Like, that would be great. I mean, obviously he's talented and successful and doing that. Maybe he can move it into something that is exciting to him. He's got to have a following if he's selling everything and he's successful. These clients are going to love to see his next venture.
So sometimes though, I've heard like sometimes clients don't like when artists change like what they do completely. Is that, have you experienced that before?
No, I actually haven't. But I would imagine,
You know, like
it's there. Right?
like someone who's like what if a photorealistic painter was like,
Yeah.
I'm tired of spending 6 months on a painting. I'm gonna go full abstract and spend a week on one. This is so liberating, right?
Yeah.
And they're like, and all the clients like, wait, this does not look real. What are you doing here? Yeah, I don't know what to say about that. I wonder if that's actually ever happened. I don't think if a photorealistic painter, I don't think they would ever change like they would change that drastically. They probably really like that process.
Well, you know what? I don't know. I majored in fine art illustration, very detailed work when I was in college.
Yeah.
To the point where I had two of my teachers tried to push me into medical illustration.
Yeah.
So back then, because it was very detailed, defined work, right? That you had to pencil or pen, draw on, right? And and they're like, because of my fine art, like the detailed work that I would do.
Yeah.
Right? Very realistic work. And they really felt that would be a good field to get into back then. That's what was very popular. When I looked into it, I would have to go to like 4 years of medical school.
Oh wow.
Wasn't about to do that. Don't forget, I was an artist, not a medical student. And And because you had to have the background, right, to understand everything. But you would go into an operation and draw what they were operating on. It was a little intense. I didn't want to do another 4 years of college for sure.
Yeah.
Especially medical school. And that wasn't me, right? So that's all the detailed, and like I'm doing abstract now, right? So really, really detailed, realistic look, right? And this is what I'm doing now. So pretty different. So I think artists can change or can do different techniques and have different styles, right? At least some. I do.
At least some. Yeah. I
do.
totally agree.
Right? Yeah. So,
So, Christina, it's getting close. It's getting that time, don't you think? You've already finished a glass of wine, or a bottle of wine. You finished a bottle of wine. I have one last question. I ask everyone this question.
Yeah.
Any words of wisdom or life advice that you could give to anyone of any age, young, old, in the middle, any life advice or words of wisdom that you can impart to anyone that's watching this?
Have no regrets.
No regrets?
Have no regrets. Enjoy life. We don't know what tomorrow's going to bring, right?
Yeah.
We don't know. Be happy. Live your life to your fullest. Enjoy it.
Yeah. You ever seen that movie? I don't know what movie it is, but there's a kid that like got a tattoo and it said no regrets.
Yeah.
But the word regrets was spelled wrong, so it said rugrats.
No kidding.
Like no regrets.
No, I don't know. That's classic.
It's like the guy was like, clearly you were gonna regret this. So no regrets.
No regrets. Be happy. Live life to the fullest. What else can I say? Everything.
If that's all you have to say.
Everything you do has consequences, right? So make it the best that you can.
Yeah.
Be happy.
Christina.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for
This has been real enjoyable. It's been great to get to know you also.
Yeah, thank you so much for your time. I really do appreciate it. It was really nice to get to know you and talk to you. Before we go, where can people find you?
I am on Facebook, Instagram. I have my website, ChristinaSodano.com. Instagram, Christina Sodano. Everything's basically Christina Sodano. I'm sure if you Google me, right? I am in some galleries in the area in Cincinnati, Seattle, and locally here in Los Gatos, where I'm currently at. But if you go to ChristinaSodano.com, you have all my info right there. Yeah.
Thank you, Christina. Thank you, everyone, for watching. Me and Christina really appreciate you for watching and taking time out of your day to learn a little bit more about Christina and her work. Remember, thank you. Don't forget to subscribe, and every Thursday till the end of the year, I have a new artist I speak with. So stay tuned. Have a wonderful day.
Awesome. Thank you. Have a good evening.
Thank you.
Bye.
What was that?
I said have a good evening.
Bye. Bye. I'm kidding, everyone. Bye, everyone.